What up, everyone? Back here for another video. This one we're going to do some reviewing. And what I've got here are some advent calendars. We got 7 of them actually. So we're going to do this like we used to do the old school monthly review of all the boxes. I'm going to kind of put them in order as best I can, like, you know, to give them kind of a review and then talk about them a little bit and essentially just help you find the one that's best for you. Because just this past year there have been a lot of them. The year before that there was like 1 or 2. Now there's like 20 different ones out there. So we're going to take a look at each of these and talk about each one. And you know, I was trying to find the best time to do this video. The best time to do it would have probably been the beginning of December, honestly, so you guys had time. But I didn't have the calendars then, and even if I wanted to open them all early and get all the figures out, my studio wasn't set up. So I just recorded my first video less than 2 weeks ago. So unfortunately the timing, this is the earliest I could do it. And I thought about waiting till next year, but there's going to be a whole new slew of things that come out next year. And I honestly didn't want to keep them in the package that long. So I'm going to do it now, and you know, the video is still going to be relevant next year, so we can always refer back to this, because a lot of the information I'm giving is still going to be relevant, because most of these calendars have repeats where they release the same one each year. So, like I said, I have 7 of them here, and I'm going to put them in order of what I think is from the worst to the best, but don't get too caught up on the order. I'm going to tell you why I put it in which order, but you know, that may not be relevant for you. You may disagree with that, and that's perfectly okay. The order I put them in is not like a very strict, stern order. It's just kind of a general, like, okay, I think this one's a little better, I think this one's a little worse. Not a big deal on it. Don't get too caught up on the numbers. Also, I'm not going to be giving them individual scores. I would have liked to have done that and gone really in depth and done each review of them and do like the 4-score system and average it out. That would have been cool, but that would have made this video just way too long. I said before I want to keep the video short as I can, and I already have 7 to talk about, and doing reviews on each one would have just made this a tremendously long video. It's already going to be very long as it is, and I'm trying to rush through this intro. So without further ado, not going to get too much into each one, but let's get into them. So I hope you guys liked the review process last time, and the camera angle I got. I went and bought a Lazy Susan so it can be rotating so we can get a full panoramic view on each thing I review. So hopefully you like that. Hopefully it's a feature you do like. If you don't like it, feel free to tell me. Other than that, oh shit. Just realized that the first thing I need to grab is way too far away, and I got a wolf in my lap. Okay, can you stay? Oi! Oi! It's okay. It's okay. Here, you take that. No. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Need to plan this out a little better. Also, I figured out the lighting a little better. Hopefully you noticed that too. I'm not as orange as I was in the past 2 videos. So that's a little bit better as well. Oh, I should have planned this out so much better. I kind of didn't think about it. I just kind of got into it. Alright, good enough. You good? Okay, cool. So the first calendar we're going to talk about, now that the lighting is better, is a Pokemon calendar. Pokemon Advent Calendar. And I'll be posting a little video, panoramic of the figures. So, something to note about this one right off the bat. Most of these calendars are 24 prizes, whatever you want to call it, because 24 days of Christmas, so on and so forth. This one is rare in the fact that it doesn't have 24 figures. All the other ones we're reviewing have 24 of the figure or whatever it is in there. This one only has 16 figures, and it has what they say is 6 accessories. So, real quick, here's the view of the box. Just get an idea of it. Opens like this, pretty typical fashion. And the numbers are kind of mixed up. You can see Jigglypuff right there popping out. They're kind of, this is one of the only ones that's not in order as well. Most of the other ones, it's in straight order, starting at 1, going down to 24. This one mixes it up. Not a big deal, not a positive or a negative, just something worth noting. So, about these figures. First off the bat, wasn't too thrilled about these figures, because what you'll see very commonly in these advent calendars, the companies really don't put a lot of effort into it. This is not Funko, by the way. This is, let me look at the company. Game Freak. Man, what the fuck is the manufacturer? So unprepared for this video. Anyway, I think it's just from Game Freak. But Not a Funko product is the point I was trying to make. The figures on here are all ones that have already appeared in store. You're going to notice on these advent calendars that they don't put a lot of effort into it, as in they don't put exclusive stuff in here. It's all things that are usually already on the market and are just repackaged. Why it's like that, I don't know. It just seems like a way for a lot of companies to sell off extra stock of figures they have, because you really don't see too much effort into it. This is a perfect example. When you've gone to any toy store, Target, anywhere you go to get collectibles, GameStop, all these places, you see the Pokemon figures when you buy them. They're usually in the pack of 3. They're in that little bubble package. It's cardboarded, and there's a little circle, and there are 3 Pokemon figures. It's very typical. I have a bunch of them here. That's the style that you would usually receive them in. Now, these figures are all ones that have appeared in those carded style. So they've all ones that have already appeared in that, so there's nothing exclusive about these. And the only thing they really changed about it is these figures are metallic. Why? I'm not really sure. It seems like a very odd choice. My guess is they wanted them to look more like ornaments, which, you know, okay, they look more like ornaments, but why? Like, they're not ornaments. There's no string attached to them, and there's nothing to hang them on. But sure, they look more like ornaments. That's my pants. That's my pants. You eat this. They look more like ornaments. Great. And I thought that was a very odd choice. And I really don't like the look of it. As far as my figures go, I like a more matte finish. I like a more painted finish. The metallic look makes it look like it's not painted, makes it look like it's just the colored vinyl, which I'm not a big fan of. So I thought that was an odd choice, and I wasn't really pleased about that. And again, the fact that these are all figures that have appeared elsewhere. So the characters that I do like, I kind of already have them in packages, so, you know, it's good to have an extra one so I have some out of the box, so not a big deal. The things I'm mentioning are not huge deals, and by the way, this is nothing negative about the box. I like all the advent calendars I've gotten. This is just a review process, so I'm just talking about it. I'm not saying anything negative about it in particular. But that's most of the things you'll notice about that. Again, the metallic and the fact that they're repeating items. The part I did not like about it, that I actually will say is a negative against it, was, like I said in the beginning, 16 figures, 6 accessories. And the accessories were very poor in quality. So some of them, 3 of them were a tree. Not separate trees, one tree that you built. And it's a cardboard tree, and I'll be showing a little video of these accessories now. And 3 of the accessories come together to make one tree. It's a base, a middle, and a top. So fine, it looks like that, and there's not really much more to say about that. It's very cheaply made. It doesn't look very fancy. And again, the figures don't have any sort of strings attached to them, so you can't really hang them like you would traditional ornaments. So I'm not really sure what the point of that is. The point of making that a tree in there to make it look like ornaments when they're not. And the other ones were, there were 2 presents, which again are just little squares that you kind of put together, a little cross section, and they kind of look like a present. A snowman that looks like Pikachu, fine, at least that's Pokemon themed, and a sled. Now, the tree has some Pokemon decoration, and the Pikachu is obviously Pokemon. The presents and the sled have nothing to do with Pokemon. There's not a single Pokemon figure, like, picture on any of them. There's nothing to do with them. It's just a random 2 presents and a random sled. Why? Why? They couldn't have taken like an extra 5 minutes out of their day and put like a little tiny picture of Pikachu on the sled? Like, no. They just put the most average, boring sled, which again, wasn't even good quality to begin with. It's just cardboard. And that's what made me really disappointed about this. I got this calendar because I'm a fan of Pokemon, so why is it not all Pokemon shit in there? Why are you giving me cardboard sleds? So that's where I would say it was a strong mark against this company and against this advent calendar. So this is probably the only one of the 7 that I would recommend not getting, just based solely on that reason. Like, why couldn't they have put more figures in there? I know they've made more. I'm looking at figures right here on my wall of ones that they've already packaged, ones that they already have the mold for, that they could have easily put in there. But they just didn't. Why? It just seemed like a cheap move on their part. And the price on this is around, they're all going to be around a $40 range. Most of them are right around that $39, $99 range. Varies depending on what it is, but all around that price range. So if all the other companies are giving 24 figures, you should be too. So there's just no excuse for that. They kind of cheaped out. And here's the company. Jazzwares. Damn it, I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. I'm terrible. I need to prepare more. So that's the reason this one came in last place. Don't get me wrong, I still like the Pokemon figures, but it's not worth $40 if I'm only getting like 75% of what I should be getting. That just doesn't seem right, and it's not really fair. And what am I going to do with a cardboard tree? Like, why am I going to keep that? And this cardboard sled, like, why am I going to keep that? It has nothing to do with what I want. So there's a quick synopsis on the Pokemon calendar. That's why it got in last place. So if you're a Pokemon fan, I think you're better off just buying the figures, because it's not worth it for cardboard stuff. All right, so that was the number 8 spot. The number 6 spot. Look out, Wolf. Gotta move. Oi, oi, oi. Sorry, it's taking way longer. I should not have put Wolf in my lap. That was my bad. Alright, number 6 was the Marvel Advent Calendar. This got a little bit of water damage. Most of these got water damage because, like I said, the flood I had, most of the stuff that was affected was the Advent calendars. Luckily, the cardboard box that's encased it was not that big of a deal. So that got water damage. The figures were just fine, though. So here it is. It comes with a little slip cover that goes over it. There's the basic presentation. I like the pictures on it. And when you open it, it looks like that. And there's more comics on the inside. Presentation-wise, looks very nice. So no complaints there. Then we get into the figures, which you'll be seeing a video of now. And these figures are very odd. So, here. Very odd because the box says Pocket Pop figures. And I know what Pocket Pop figures look like, and these are not Pocket Pop figures. As you'll notice, and I have one example here of Captain America. So, this is the Pocket Pop figure. I'll be showing a better close-up. And this is the one that came in this Advent calendar. There is a clear distinction here. You'll notice with all the Pocket Pops, they're very similar to their full pop version, as in they have actual arms and legs. They're not opposable, but they're separate from each other, and it's always a bobblehead. These are nothing like that. These, the arms and legs are all stuck together, and it makes one piece. It's almost like the Pint-Sized Heroes, but it's not. It's like a halfway between Pocket Pop and Pint-Sized Heroes. It's just kind of its own thing, which is very strange. So what it reminds me of, a very long time ago, I'm pretty sure it was Funko, but I could be wrong, there was an Eraser series, and they were blind bags. And this was like back when before the very first set of Marvel Mystery Minis even came out. So they were erasers. They looked very similar to this. They had big heads, eyes similar to that, and the bodies were like that too, where it was one piece, the arms and legs were all stuck together, almost identical to these. So I wouldn't be surprised if it had something to do with that. Some old molds they had in the factory, or some old molds they had just like back stock somewhere, so they just made those into not erasers but into vinyl figures. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'll have to do some research. I couldn't find anything on it. Pretty sure it was Funko, could be wrong, but anyway, they remind me very much of those. But the point is, they're not Pocket Pops. They're very clearly different. So again, it's this halfway merger between the Pocket Pops and the Pint-Sized Heroes, and it's just weird. And you lose a lot of quality for that. And why? Why do they do that? All the characters in here, they had in Pocket Pop versions already, just like Captain America right here. They already have it. Why not just pop that in there? Like, what? I don't understand why they wouldn't do that. They went out of their way to make these unique figures, but they made them in poorer quality. Like, I like that they were... Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I like that they were trying to do that, make the figures in there exclusive. That's great. Do that, but don't lose quality along the way. I'd rather have quality over something that's exclusive but crappy. Like, it seems like a weird trade, and it doesn't seem like a good trade that should have been made. So, one thing to note about this, I just found out, there were 2 versions of this calendar. There was a GameStop exclusive version, and there was an actual regular version. I just found that out as I was doing research today. I thought they were both the same. The difference in it is 3 figures... What? Get out of there. 3 figures are different, and that is Hulk, Spider-Man, Iron Man. So the GameStop exclusive version, which is one I got, the normal one comes with normal Iron Man. This one comes with gold Iron Man. The normal one comes with Spider-Man. This one comes with Symbiote Spider-Man. Yeah, I think that's the one it trades for. So the black suit Spider-Man. The regular one comes with Hulk. This one comes with Red Hulk. And that's the difference. So it's the same figures, just with different paint jobs. Oddly enough, the regular version, those 3 figures, are worth more than the GameStop exclusive version, which is very rare to see. Getting down? It's rare to see the exclusive ones less valuable than the regular ones, but I think GameStop just ordered too many because it was hard to find a regular version. I'm not really sure who sold the regular version, but I think that's why it was worth a little more, because it was honestly, there were just less of them made. I think GameStop really ordered too many, because I saw most of them go on clearance almost immediately, because I think GameStop just thought they were going to sell better, and they didn't, so they had way too much overstock. And also with some of the closures with COVID and things like that, I think they just couldn't sell everything they purchased from Funko, and that's why they're a little bit less valuable. Do you want to get down? Get down. I don't know what you're doing. Go on. You can do it. You're almost there. Good boy. Okay, good boy. All right. Freedom. Now we can review a little bit better. Sorry. What I was talking about. Yes. GameStop version, worth a little bit less. Not a ton, not a big difference, but just something to note. If you want the regular versions, you're going to have to find it elsewhere. Something I should mention, that I probably should have mentioned at the beginning, I did briefly. Most of these calendars are not exclusive to that year. Don't eat that. Hey, stop it. No. Eat this. Sorry. The calendars are not exclusive to the year that they're in. Most of the time when Advent calendars are made, or collectibles just in general, they'll make them, and then the following year, if they release it, they'll do a new version of it. They have not done this. So this one was new this past year, I believe, but I guarantee you we're going to see the exact same thing the following year. Funko did this with one of the calendars you're going to see in one of the higher spots. They did an exclusive one with some pint-sized heroes, and I wanted one, missed the opportunity, and I found one in summer, but it was like 5 times the price. It was an outrageous price, and I almost purchased it. Then Christmas came around again. They had the exact same calendar out at the regular price. So if you are looking for some of these calendars, now's a good time to buy them because they're all on clearance. But if you wait a little longer, don't overpay for them, because most of the time, not guaranteed, most of these are going to come back at the exact same price next Christmas. I don't think they're going to put in effort to make a whole new line when they can sell the same one. Like I was saying, there's just not a lot of effort put into these calendars, so don't expect there to be. So that's the Marvel one. That is the number 6 spot. Moving on. Number 5. We got a Dragon Ball Z Advent Calendar. I was really happy to see this. I'm so happy there's more Dragon Ball stuff now, because Funko had very little Dragon Ball stuff for so long, and now they're really coming back with it. So this one, basic presentation, nothing really special, just a picture of what you're getting, so little effort there, and then real basic number lineup. Nothing special about the presentation, not a big deal. I care more about the figures anyway. And now you'll be seeing a video of the figures. Why did this one get lower on the counter if I like it so much? I'll tell you exactly why. One reason: duplicate figures. Quit it. Give me that. Duplicate figures. So they put a lot of the same figure in here. Almost every figure in here has an immediate duplicate of it. What I mean is, like I said with the Pokemon figures, how they made metallic versions. They did that with this, but put both versions in there. So Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, and I think there was one more that I'm missing. I think maybe, yeah, Krillin. 5 figures that have a regular version and then a metallic version of each of those. That has nothing different about it other than it's metallic, which I think is a major cop-out here. And there were other figures in there that have a different version. So the Great Ape version of Vegeta, Ozaru, I think he's called, they have a regular one of Vegeta, and then they did one that was a flocked version. I didn't mind that one as much because, you know, seeing flocked Pocket Pops is a little bit rarer. So I actually didn't mind that. I thought that was kind of cool to have a flocked version. I still would rather only have one, but they did 2 versions of that. They also did 2 versions of Master Roshi, but those were actually a little bit different. Not a lot, but a little. The arms are just slightly different. Like, fine, I'm okay with that. It's not major differences, but at least it's a different figure. And they could have easily done that with all of these figures. With Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, Krillin, they could have done a different arm motion. They could have been one gathering energy, one blowing a Kamehameha. Like something simple where they could have done a simple change and made it a different figure, but they didn't. the metallic thing is a major cop-out, and they're not looking different enough to merit them being in the same box. So I was not a big fan of that. Another thing I was not a big fan of, and I'll show a close-up of this, most of the time on pop figures, there's usually writing on the bottom of the foot that talks about what series it's from. Stop. What series it's from and the manufacturer and stuff like that. So the feet I'm guessing are just too small to put that. So they they put writing on the bottom of their chin. I'll show a close-up of it, but there's just like a ton of writing on their face. Like they really couldn't come up with a better spot to put that. Like put it at the very least on the back of the head or something, but they really could have fit it on the feet if they tried, but it's just on the chin. So it's like right here on both sides, just a bunch of writing. It's like, that's really distracting. That's really bad placement. I don't know why they did that. Seems like an awful choice. Other things to mention about this, not necessarily bad, but things to mention. This series is very limited on characters. I already mentioned that there's 7 characters in here that have immediate duplicates. All of these characters are all from the Saiyan Saga, the very first season of Dragon Ball Z. Why? I'm not completely sure. I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that, oh, they're just doing the Saiyan Saga now. Next year they'll do the Frieza Saga, and maybe the year after that GT, and then Super, and so on and so forth. So each year we'll have a whole bunch of characters, and I'll collect each one and love them as my own. I'd love to say that, but I highly, highly doubt that's the case. If I had to guess, it's one of 2 reasons. One, when they were making this calendar, they didn't have the licenses to all the characters. If you remember the first series of Pop that they did with Dragon Ball Z, they only did those very basic characters. They were pretty much all from the Saiyan Saga, which was season 1 of the show. So they may have only had the licensing to put these out when they were making this advent calendar originally. The other option is 2, these were the only ones that they already had molds of created. So it may not have been licensing, but they already had molds created of this. And like I said, they weren't going to create extra molds because these companies just don't put a lot of effort into these advent calendars. So one of those 2 reasons is likely why we're only getting that first series. But again, I would love it if next year we got a different one with different characters. It just seems very limiting considering that Super has already done a full run of the show. There's movies, there's just dozens and dozens and dozens of characters they could have done that they just didn't even touch on. Like there's no Super Saiyans in here whatsoever. There's no Frieza, there's no Cell, there's no Beerus, there's no Whis. Like there's just tons of characters that aren't even mentioned here. But you know, I'm still happy with it. I really like these characters. I just hope Funko realizes, please like mix it up and do something different. Don't give us the same Series 1 every single Christmas. That's going to be really shitty. Please don't do that. So there we go. Number 5, DBZ. Number 4 is a Nightmare Before Christmas Advent Calendar, but it's not the normal one that we're used to seeing. Here it is. So this one is very, very good on the presentation. I give them major credit for presentation on this, but not so much for the actual, again, we'll call them gifts that it comes with. So this one looks like a book. Hey, quit it. Trying to escape. Quit it. Woof. Woof. Stop. Come here. Hey, come here. Come here, shoot. Hey. There you go. Sorry about that. So this one looks like a book. So this is the basic idea of it. What it is, it comes with a tree on the inside, and the gifts, so to speak, are ornaments. So they do come on a string. They can hang on the tree it comes with. This is meant to be kept on a bookshelf because it looks like that. And we'll get right into it. Once you open it up, the tree is right here. And it actually is shaped with these little spikes, so it's very easy to hang the ornaments. And again, the presentation of this is awesome. It has original artwork that I've never seen anywhere else. It's very well designed. It's very beautifully done. And even the little hatches it comes with, everything is great on it. But the odd thing is, the pieces that it comes with are just very basic. They are just literally pieces of cardboard. If even that, they're pretty thin, just like thick paper with a string. And it's so odd to me. They put so much effort into the presentation, into the book, but they put so little effort into the actual gifts that it comes with. That just seemed like a very odd choice for me. So the only thing I can summate from that is that maybe they were just trying to keep it slimmer because they wanted to keep it in a book style, but you know, they really could have put some figures in there. They just would have been a little bit smaller. I just think it's an odd choice. But the one major selling point of this book is that it's reusable. This is the only advent calendar we have that we're seeing today that is actually reusable. Because most of them, it's cardboard that you tear open, just like paper. You have to actually tear it a little bit. This one's not. You can take the same figure, as I've done already. I put all the ornaments back, and then you can close it up, and it seals perfectly. Like, you can't even tell it was ever open. Like, you can open them and close them a million times. Maybe not a million, but you can open them and close them various times, and it doesn't look any different from the day you bought it. You could resell this if you want. You'd have to say used, but it's in the exact same quality. So one great thing about this is I can use this years to come, and I'm going to. I'm going to put this on the bookshelf and break it out next Christmas, and day by day go through them. Obviously, it won't be a big surprise what's in there, but I can still decorate the tree day by day because it's so well done. So I think that's really amazing. So the only real downside to this, I wish they just would have done figures. I wish they would have done even little ones, fine, just some kind of figures, because I would have preferred that so much more over cardboard pieces. Other than that, presentation is beautiful. This is still the same price as the other ones. It's right around that $39, $99 range. So it's a little hard to justify when you're not getting any sort of figure. But again, reusable, use it from year to year. I think that's a very good selling point, and that's why it got higher on the countdown. So that was number 4. Getting dehydrated, and Wolf's bugging me. All right, number 3. Also Nightmare Before Christmas, but this one does have figures. So by the way, all of these are Funko, with the exception of the Pokemon and the Nightmare Before Christmas book. Different off-brand companies. Back to Funko, these are Pocket Pops. Same as the Dragon Ball one, presentation not great. You're literally just looking at a picture of what you're getting, and then you open up, and that's what you're getting. It's very strange that they literally just have a picture of the thing you're about to see. Like, they could have put a little more design quality into that, but, you know, no big deal. These are all Pocket Pops, and this one's pretty good because they kept it interesting, where there were some repeat characters in here, but very few. So they do have 2 Jack figures, but they're in different poses. And they do have 2 Oogie Boogies in here, but with all the Funko collectibles, there's always 2 Oogies. There's the tannish one, and there's the green glow-in-the-darkish one. That's pretty normal, no big deal. There's 2 Sallys, but they're very different in style. One standing with a basket, one sitting with a rose. Completely different bodies, so that's fine. I don't mind the same characters in there, but mix it up. This is what they should have done with the Dragon Ball one. So I'm happy they did that. You know, I will say there are so many other characters they could have put in there to fill it up. Not a big deal, though. But we do get down towards the end, and we do get a little bit repetitive. So again, with most collectibles, you get 2 zeros, a normal white one, and one that's glow-in-the-dark. Fine, that's pretty normal. But then we get down here, and we actually got a 3rd zero. And this is one that's just like, they call it Diamond, and it basically just looks like salty. It looks like they got glitter on it, basically. It's a glitter version of Zero. And they did one of Santa Jack as well. And I guess they're meant to look snowy or glittery. I don't really know what they were going for. That I was a little disappointed on. There's only 2 of them, so it's not a big deal. But I was pretty disappointed that we got 3 versions of Zero. Like, that's too much. There was barely enough difference between the white one and the glow-in-the-dark one. Now I got a glittery one, like 3 zeros. That's too much. And then we have 2 of the Snowman Jack, like, no, they could have easily put different characters in here. There are so many characters that weren't represented in this from the movie. They could have easily done, but that seemed like a little bit of a cop-out. But again, only those 2, so not big deal. Other than that, all the other figures in here are very much different. You want to come up here again? Come on. Come on. Oh, boy. You're getting so big. You're getting so big. Ow, don't bite me. So they kept it pretty interesting. So most of the figures are different in there, so that was good. All right. Next, we got one that's a little bit different because this is the only one that's not Christmas themed. Still holiday themed, just not Christmas. And that is also Funko, but it's the horror advent calendar. Well, if you're like in the most awkward position right now, and I can't lean back now because you're on my lower back, you gotta get up, dude. Reposition yourself. I'm gonna sit on you, and you're not gonna like it. Oh, dude. Oi. Oh, puppies. This is such a handful. They are so not conducive to video recording. If you want to record videos on your channel, don't get a puppy. They are absolutely no help. Look at this. He's not helping with the video at all. He's showing his butthole. Alright, Advent Calendar. Horror. This one is only 13 days, which, you know, I get that because it's more Halloween, but you know, I think it was a cop-out. I very rarely give Funko the benefit of the doubt. Most of the time when they do things, I think it's a cop-out, and I'm usually right. This one came with a little slip cover, but this is a presentation, a gate, and there you go. So this is better. Like, why couldn't they have done this with the Nightmare Before Christmas and DBZ ones? Just a basic picture just to keep it interesting instead of just a picture of what you're getting and then here's what you're getting. Like, put a little design quality into it. So I like they did that. You know, it's a simple gate, but you know, it's something. And then there's 13. So why do I think it's a cop-out? Because they could have easily done something different. If they wanted to keep it Halloween themed, they could have easily done 31. There's 31 days in October. Why couldn't it have been 31? Because they just wanted to do less. Like, it just seems dumb to only get 13. Now, depending on where you got it, it is cheaper, but... What, are you climbing on me? It is cheaper, but not necessarily half the price. If you buy it now, it is. GameStop is selling this as I'm recording this video for only $19.99. If you get it for that price, fine. It's about half the figures. You get it half the price. Fine, no big deal. But when I was originally looking at it, it was a little bit more expensive than that. So, I don't know. It still seemed like a cop-out. Again, not a big deal. As far as the figures themselves, good quality. They are good quality figures. I really like them. And these Pocket Pops, I don't mind them at all. Most of the time, they used to come on keychains, and I didn't really like that. I always had to remove the keychain part of it. So I like that they just don't have that part of it, and they're just figures. So that's cool. I enjoy that, and I like that very well. Same thing with the Dragon Ball thing. No repeats, necessarily, which is fine. But, you know, I would have been pissed if there were repeats and only 13 figures. But there's just not a lot of variety here. So most of the franchises that are represented in this have 2 characters. And what I mean is they have Beetlejuice in here, and they also have the chick from Beetlejuice, whose name escapes me at the moment because Wolf is biting me. And then they had the 13th Day had 2 figures, which I thought, oh, that's cool. But it's the 2 chicks from The Shining, the 2 twins, and there's nothing different about them. It's literally 2 of the exact same figure. They could have mixed it up a little and had one holding out its right hand, one holding out its left hand, so they're holding hands. But they didn't do that. It was 2 of the literally exact same figure, so you just have 2 of that figure. So that was kind of a cop-out there. And there are so many characters that aren't represented. So they have Annabelle and the Nun, which are from the same universe. They have Jason and Freddy. They also have 2 versions of Pennywise in here. They're different, which is good, but did we really need 2 of the same character when we only have 13 figures in there? Like, no, not really. And I think it was the same thing as Dragon Ball Z. I think it was a licensing thing. I think they didn't want to go out and get a bunch of different licenses because it would have been too much work, and they just don't want to put work into these advent calendars. So I think that's more what it was. They just is a lack of effort. So they got fewer franchises, and they just did more characters from each one. Because Pennywise, they could have very easily done like the Mystery Minis, where they did an original Pennywise, and then they did the modern Pennywise. But they didn't do that. Both modern, which I thought is weird. And one of the... What do you have? Oh. And one of the characters in here is the plant from Little Shop of Horrors, which is fine. It's a very nice figure. It's very well done. It's honestly probably my favorite figure in here. But it's just a little bit more obscure, considering there's no, like, Chucky. There's no Jigsaw. There's so many characters that are major icons that aren't in here. And we got the Little Shop of Horrors plant, which is just a little obscure. Not a complaint, it's nothing against it, but it just seems like they missed a lot of the bigger franchises. And that's what I mean, where they very easily could have done 31 days and filled it out with plenty of characters, but they kind of cheaped out on that. So that's the only thing I have against that. Other than that, the figures look very nice. They're very well done. I'm very happy about it. I'm happy to have these ones. And again, I'll tell Funko the same thing. I hope this means that next year you'll do 13 different characters, because I'll buy it again and I'll love it, but Probably not. So don't get your hopes up for that. But again, it would be great if they did. All right, the number 1 spot. How are we doing on time? Not great. So the number 1 spot is far away. I gotta grab it. The number 1 spot is the old Funko calendar, the original Funko Advent calendar, which doesn't seem that special, but I'll tell you why I got the number 1 spot. Came with a slipcover, by the way, that showed some decent artwork, but this is the basic idea of it. Let me try and reach the cover, actually. It's got some cool shit on there. No big deal, but you know, at least there was some design quality to it. They put a little city-looking thing here, so it actually looked nice, and the cover was different. And this was made back in 2017, I believe, so it's actually a few years old. So they made this years and years ago, and then didn't get back into the Advent calendar game until 2020, I think. Why? I'm not really sure. Maybe it didn't sell well. But the funny thing about this is the only calendar that has anything exclusive in it. These are pint-sized heroes. Most of them are the Pocket Pops. This one and the Fortnite calendar was pint-sized hero. That one looks great, by the way, too. I think I might get that next year. This is the only one that has anything exclusive. They're all Freddy Funkos, and they're all Christmas-themed. And there's a lot of repeat models, but at least the paint jobs are different. But yeah, all of these are things you can only find here. As far as I know, I've never seen these anywhere else. I could be wrong. Maybe there's some rare set out there or some rare place, maybe at Funko HQ where they sold individuals of these. But as far as I've seen, you can't get these anywhere else. And that's what makes it great. That's what I like. I want to get something and I want to feel like it's special. I don't want to buy someone's product and they're like, here's some leftover shit we had. Or, yeah, we already had these models in the stock room and we had nowhere to put them, so you can have them. Here's 24 of them. Like, no, I want it to feel like it's special. I want to be surprised when I open them. Because a lot of these calendars, when I open the little door, it's like, oh, okay, I know that character. Oh, I've seen that figure before. I still like it, nothing against it, but it's just not that surprising. This one was an actual surprise. I legit didn't know what was behind each door, and I was genuinely surprised, which is hard to do for a person like me. Like, look around. Like, it's pretty hard to surprise me. And especially just an adult on Christmas, you're just not surprised that much anymore these days. So that's what I really liked about this. And honestly, I've said this a million times, I like the pint-sized heroes. I thought it's a great series. They've pretty much discontinued them. I don't think they were that popular, but the ones they did have, I've gotten pretty much all of them. Like, I got all the Marvel ones, I got all the DC ones, I got all the exclusive ones, Street Fighter, horror. I really like them. I wish they'd do more because I just like the style of them. I like the size of them. I like the simplicity of them. I like how they do have detail, even though they're very small. But, you know, the world is what it is. If it's not popular, not selling, they're not going to continue it. So we may be seeing the end of pint-sized heroes now or in the very near future. So I'm glad I got these ones. And you know, these don't have an amazing amount of detail. Some of them are kind of cop-out figures where one of them is just painted solid gold. But most of them, like I said, same mold but different paint jobs. And even little things like there's 2 here that are carolers. And same shape, but you know, they have different facial expressions. It's little minor stuff like that, but it matters. It's things that make these separate figures, so you don't just have 2 duplicates. I'd much rather have a different facial expression than have had 2 carolers where one's regular and one's metallic, or one's regular and one's flocked. Like, I don't really like that. That's not different enough to distinguish it in my mind as 2 separate figures. Facial expressions, body gestures, that's what I like to consider it 2 separate figures. And that's what they did here. So that's, for the most part, why it gets the number 1 spot. Exclusivity. They actually put some effort into it, which none of the other calendars really do that much, that they actually made them for this calendar. I highly doubt we'll ever see anything like this again from Funko, because they're going to be using molds they already have from the Pocket Pops. Same with the Pokemon Advent Calendar. This company that made this Nightmare Before Christmas book, we might see something from them. They might make things in the future where it's absolutely exclusive like that. So I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that's exclusive as well. I meant of the Funko products, this is the only exclusive one. So we may see something from that company that's new and interesting in the future. Who knows? But probably not from Funko. Something to mention that I've mentioned 2 times already, this is not exclusive to the year. That's the story I was telling where I wanted this And this one's more expensive, by the way. I think this one was closer to $50 because it's exclusive. So I think it's worth the extra $10. But when I looked it up during summer, it was like $150, and I'm like, shit, like, do I really want to pay that much? Then fall came around, and it was back down to regular price, and it's happened 3 years in a row. I guarantee it'll happen again in 2021, and they have not changed the lineup whatsoever from what I can tell. I mean, I think they should do a little bit of effort. Change one figure. One. Just each year have like the 24th figure something different. Put a little bit of effort to get people still interested in something. So that's why I'm not hopeful for the Dragon Ball calendar and the horror, because I feel like it's just going to be the same 13 and the same Dragon Ball characters every year. Like, please, for the love of God, Funko, put a little bit of effort into it, change some stuff up, and I'll purchase it again. I really will. And you can have my money. You just got to put some effort into it. I'm not going to keep paying you money to just sit on your asses. So that's it in summation. That's pretty much all 7 of the calendars, a basic idea of them. I'm sorry I wasn't a little more prepared for this video. Woof is such a handful. I really would like to prepare more from him, but I get 10 seconds of his napping and enough time to set up the camera. And the light, I'm glad the light's working better, and I'm glad things are working out better recording-wise, but hopefully in the future, when he grows up, he'll exhibit it. He'll be more obedient, and I can get more prep time. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this. I hope all the videos turning out well. And woof, okay, I can play with you now. I will play with you now. I love you so much. So, thank you all for watching and supporting. And tell me your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you have any information, things I didn't mention, and we'll talk about it there. Other than that, we'll see you next week on the next video of whatever it is I seem to record that week. Once again, thank you all for watching. Say bye, Wolf. Say bye. Say bye. Say bye. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Love you all so much. Peace. Oh my goodness. Don't bite me. Don't bite me. Here. Here's a bone. Here, bite this. Here. Don't knock over the Funko. Oh my goodness. You're such a handful. You're such a handful. You're a minion. You're a minion.